And good morning to you, and welcome here to YouTube Live. It's a Stitch Social morning. This morning I am trying to finish my hot frosty knit scarf. I do knit. If you didn't know that I didn't, now you do. And we have actually all kinds of knitting videos here on the channel if you're ever looking for it. So movie came out, Hot Frosty. Looked it up what the stitch was. It's a seated knit stitch, which is what I'm doing here. I already provided the tutorial for it last week, or I think on Saturday. And so I'm working on it so I can get a final photograph of this thing. So our Rit is joining us this morning, and welcome to you. And you can let me know what you're up to today. What are any plans? Are some of you doing Christmas stuff? Are you hooking for the holidays? Knitting for the holidays? Doing nothing for the holidays? You can fill in the comments below. So welcome, and let me just yeah, so welcome. Okay, so there we go. So we have Marlene and Amaris and Veronica. You're in the house today, and thank you so much for being a part of it today. And yeah, so I'm just kind of hooking out this morning. So I just got to buy some time. So I just got a little bit of yarn left over to finish off my knit scarf. So no traveling, Tasha staying home, no traveling. Working on the Granny Square sweater, Christmas theme, says Carol this morning. And hello from Ontario. Angela B is in the house today. We have Iowa in the house as well. And working on the Crochet Society Advent crochet calendar. Not sure what that is, but it sounds exciting. And yeah, so anyway, so that's kind of there. So somebody's working on a dress. So I had a recent friend just pick up crochet for the first time since she was a kid, and she's actually been making clothing for the very first time. And she's like, "Oh my God, you just started crocheting and you're already making sweaters for yourself." Pretty ambitious, but she's doing it. She's a scientist, so everything is mathematical, etc. So yeah. So it looks like a lot of people are working on some nice winter stuff. It's finally snowed here, but the snow will be gone in a couple days from now. So it's just got to get through between now and then. And it's going to turn to freezing rain tomorrow, and then high of 12 degrees Canadian. So I don't know what that is in American temperatures, but it's nice. Yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of what we have going on. So I'm using Karen Tea Cakes today. The color is called Storm. Just need 2 balls for the hot frosty knit version. I said 3 balls in the video, but it turns out it's only 2. So I got to do a little correction of that. Just edit the pattern just slightly, just to indicate the ball count. Because, you know, typical man, over guessing the size. It's a sickness with us men only. Yeah. So we have Jay joining us this morning, and we got that going on. Slippers and Jeannie's beanies apparently cannot type this morning. And yeah, so this version here is the Hot Frosty. It was called the seated knit stitch. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to get started, but once you get just a few rows in, you realize that the pattern is actually quite simple. And the way that the patterns are written for this standard stitch is quite complicated, so I simplified it in the video and also my written instructions to give a better indication of where you need to be. So there we go. Okay. So there you go. So Rita says that's why women can't measure, because you're measuring accurately, I am sure. 6 inches is the new 12. So there we go. So there we go. So we have that kind of going on today. And a little trick that I learned when I was starting to learn to knit. I decided to tackle it during COVID, learning how to knit. And I actually took several months away from crochet just to teach the basics of knitting so I could become comfortable with it. And so if I didn't know how to knit, I wouldn't be able to convert the Hot Frosty knitted scarf into a crochet version. And do you want to see the crochet version? I haven't showed the actual final yet. I was just outside taking photos, but it's still on my dummy. No, I wasn't wearing it, but my dummy was. And I will show that to you at the end of this row. You want to see what that looks like. So I decided to use Karen Tea Cakes because it's a chunky weight number 6 yarn, and Daddy doesn't have time for slow games today, and Daddy wants not to have the yarn play and just get right into the action. So it goes much faster with a thicker yarn, and because it's the color is called Storm. The colors are going to stay dark because that's more my preference for my own outfit. And yeah, so I think one of the biggest mistakes, and I've talked about this in the past, is that crocheters and knitters compare the craft to each other. They're not even related to the same family. Crochet and knit is not even related to each other, period, other than we just use the same base material of yarn to be able to play with. So I'll show you what the crochet version of this looks like. So it's a repeat of 2 rows, and it's really quite nice. And this is what Hot Frosty was wearing in there. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm just going to do half of the scarf, just going to stage it in a way that it looks like it's done, so that I can move on, because I have stitch along stuff to get done as well. So here is the Hot Frosty and crochet version, just like you see there. So some people, well, one person in particular gave me crap last night for posting a knit video to the crochet crowd on Facebook. And I'm like, whatever. And so what I had to do is I knit it first so that I had a good chunk of it done, so that I could actually compare. And then I looked at what crochet stitches are available that can produce a very similar look. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. And so you'll have this scarf only takes about 3 hours to do. And I will provide a pattern for that today, later today, if you're interested in that. And yeah, so, and I know what you're thinking. I'm the smartest guy you've ever seen online, which is a fallacy, obviously. But I have to do a sample in order to see what it's going to look like. And so that's why I'm knitting this version, so that I could actually see what it feels like, what it stretches like, and being able to do that as well. So there we go. So could this be done in Tunisian? You could try it, Wendy. Just go for it and see if you can do it. Tunisian is not my favorite thing, but you can figure that out if you're that interested in that. So yeah, I don't see why you can't. Just can you do rib stitching in Tunisian? I don't even know if that's true. So I have to see that. And we'll keep on moving on. So Karen, my friend, is on training now for the week. So she has arranged our Nova Scotia bus tour that membership had free our first access to be able to sign up for the event first as a thank you for the subscription. And anyway, so there were so many people on the waiting list. We actually have 2 tours of Nova Scotia, one in July and one in August. And she'll be back from training next week. So she is currently out at sea. She is an armed force, Canadian Armed Forces. She works in the cadet region of that. And so she's out with cadets that are training with the real, with the actual service agents that are on board the vessel for sea training this week. So she's out there. She's so super excited. So yeah. So that's kind of what's happening. And so she's going to be controlling that event so that I don't have to. And yeah. So yeah, so that's kind of what we have going on. There was actually, I think, a request to see if we're going to go back to Alaska, not for a cruise, but for something else. And so that might be coming down the pipeline. I have to have a meeting this week, see if that's even the reality, and not for this year coming, but for in a future year, is to go back to Alaska. And it's completely new event. It's nothing we've ever done. So that's going to be coming down the pipeline as well. So we'll let the membership know if there's anything happening with that as well, going on with that. What else is going on? So we have a stitch along. I still have to film it for your inspirations. And we also have Jeannie's stitch along that is currently under production as well. I have all this paperwork on my desk that is just patterns that are just written down all over the place. So I literally got to go through my desk and just start heave-hoeing the paper. I write notes on everything. And so my pattern for the basket that I released what was it, yesterday? I don't even remember. It's all running together. Is that it's here on my desk somewhere. I just got to find it. It's bad. Yeah. Yeah. So Barbara would like to do Alaska in 2026. So we're going to be releasing the Alaskan Crochet Cruise in January. And so we'll be releasing that. We'll release it to the membership first, and then any leftover tickets then will be set out to the public at that point. So somebody's asking, the membership, what it is, it's a monthly subscription. It's $4.99 US for a passport level, and then the all access backstage pass is $6.99. That's US dollars. So depending on what country you live in, it will change with the currency. So anyway, so the memberships have first access to many things, including the events, to be able to sign on. We decided, meaning I decided, is that I only want 75 people in the classroom program on board the cruise ship for Alaska. We have gone upwards of 140 people. I only want 75 because it's an easier number for me to not go over the edge. And so we'll be releasing that. And whatever tickets that the membership doesn't want, then we'll just toss it to the public at the end of that period. So yeah. So anyway, there's some private communications that happen with the membership of just exclusives. Some of the patterns go to the membership first, so they get to test it, give me feedback, and also access to the videos in ahead of time. So yeah. So if you go on our homepage, Sandy, you can find join or its membership, and then you'll see it there. So, and it's billed directly through YouTube, and so I'm not involved in that. And and it's billed monthly, so you can cancel at any time if you're not happy with it. So there's no long-term contract or anything like that, and it helps keep everything free for the most part. And it's really Christy from Puerto Rico. When I ran into her in Reno, she was saying, the cost of the membership is essentially just buying a pattern or 2 patterns a month. And so she likes the idea of having access to the early stuff in advance. So I have a lot of content that's just holding and waiting for me to schedule up and get out. So yeah, the Crochet Crowd homepage there, Sandy, you'll see that in the membership option at the top. So we started that officially, I think, 2 years ago. So you'll see, Sandy, that certain people have an emoji beside their name, and they're a member when they have an emoji like that. So Carol, CG Taylor, Tiffany, they have like the plant is growing out, and eventually that plant over time turns into a rose, a yarn rose bush. So when people start off, they start off with the yarn seed, which is yellow. And so the seed then after a month then starts to flourish and more. So as time goes on, the membership emojis change with the length of the membership. So yeah, so that's kind of what we have going on. We won't harp too much on that. I think a lot of people already know about it as well. And so yeah, so we're continuing along. So I went to go and look at one of Jeannie's old patterns. And I thought, why have I not seen this pattern out very much? And so I decided, well, okay, I'm going to run a video on it. Well, then it turns into a big to-do because I realized that I couldn't do the pattern. And so even though it got tested, I was confused. And so then I spent a day last week and charted the whole thing up in a crochet diagram. And then I said, well, shit, I would write it this way instead. So Jeannie's pattern is currently out, but I'm going to re-release it under some new instruction, the way that I would do it if it were me. And so, and then we'll provide the crochet diagrams that were not provided the first time around. And the blanket that I've been working on since last Wednesday that I finished last night, I'll show you what it looks like as well. And so this is going to be done with Red Heart Biddy stripes. And it only requires 4 balls to do it. So I'll show you what that looks like. Have a new Hugs and Kisses out as well. So a new Hugs and Kisses, I redid it so that we can have some new photography because the photography is from 2013. So this here was using Karen Baby Cakes And I forget the name of the colorway, but I'll look it up later. So we're going to update that. Also wanted to do a quick scarf because I was bored one day. And so I did a quick scarf using Caron Super Saver Ombre. So the color is changing on its own and transitioning, as you can see. And so it's called Green Apple is the color. I'm not even sure the yarn's going to stay around for much longer, but it's just a nice granite stitch. In order to do that, I'd be bored. Another one, so this is the one I've been working on. So this is Red Heart Bitty Stripes. You only require 4 balls of yarn to make this blanket. And so the yarn is changing on its own. So this is Jeannie's original design called the Frame Textures Afghan. So it has 3 different areas. So you have the bean stitch here. It then transitions to a nice flat area, and then it turns into the blanket stitch. So, and it's very textured and awesome. And because the yarn is transitioning color on its own, I found myself, I just like, where's the next color going to land? And so it's a really cool idea. I love it. It's a great color for my own home because I like color when it comes to that kind of stuff. So that is going to be coming out this week, maybe later today. I got to revise the diagram a little bit, but that's on my list. And then last week, I made this blanket over 2 days on Monday and Tuesday of last week. And this here is the study of snow, but it's done in a rectangle. So I called it the study of meditation. So I've given information. You'll find this on our website. There is no video for it yet. But anyway, it's just nice, simple, easy to go blanket. I think it requires 5 balls altogether. A Bernat blanket. And I just did this over 2 evenings last week as well. So I like my blankets because I don't like to put a measuring tape around that. So yeah. So how big is the bitty stripes? I haven't measured it yet, but let me just get measuring tape. The bitty stripes is 50 inches by 50 inches. However, you can go bigger. You just got to get more yarn. So it does have a nice, easy repeating section in that as well. So I really like how I can do that as well. What else did I have going on? I have another pattern that I have not put out yet. I actually have 2 patterns that I have not put out yet. So this here, I don't like when scarves hit my zipper in my coat. So I just did a neck warmer. So this is using a brand new stitch that I developed. And I called it the spiked ridge stitch, I think I called it. And anyway, this is using Bernat Symphony. And so I like a scarf that will go inside my jacket and just tuck right in like this. And so that I don't end up like, because I'm already fat, right? So I don't necessarily want a scarf that's going to go down the center of my coat inside and make me look even worse than I am. So I like the idea of just kind of coming around and just kind of tucking into my coat like that so that it'll seal off the top of my thing. So this here is a nice, easy pattern. It's just a 1-row repeat once you get moving on it. And so it's a stitch that I developed as well. So look at the texture on this. Because yesterday, I released this pattern. And this is the exact same pattern, but done in a basket. So I was working on this, and Karen needed a basket. And I said, you should try my stitch on a basket. So this is exactly the same stitch, but done in the basket. And that was released yesterday. Right? Yeah. So this here. So then will this work in a round as a cowl? So yes. So then Megan's already ahead of me. So I came up with the concept of using Bernat Symphony. And I would have probably used 2 balls, but I only used 1. But anyway, this here is an infinity cowl done with the same stitch. I've not released this yet either. And so I wanted this to be nice and tight. So there is a sewing line at the back. So you do this up like a scarf, but then you twist it, half twist, and then you join it together with a slip stitch. And I wanted this to be tight. So when it goes into my jacket, it will stay nice and tight, just like that. And so my jacket will go up over top of it, right? And so because it's infinity, it's got a place to naturally fold onto itself. And so we have this done, and this pattern is not written out either. It's written out, but it's on my notes here somewhere on my desk, right? So we have that going on as well. Another pattern that is not out at all, period, but it's written because Yarn Inspiration just requested it. So I have not put that one out either. And so they wanted something simple for Christmas decorations. I'm not happy with it. That's why I have not put it out. But I came up with the Bernat maker and doing glass balls. And basically it's a snowflake that wraps around naturally. Takes just a few minutes to make. And came up with that concept. But I'm not 100% satisfied with that. But we have that as well. I should just put it out and just say, well, people don't like it, they don't like it. There's actually some more patterns on my desk that I've done. This one is actually filmed, but it's not out yet because I've not finished it. But this here is a new hat. I just got a close in the top of the hat. But here, this is using Karen cinnamon swirl cakes. And so this hat will then close in at the top. I have two versions of this hat. So anyway, it'll close in. Really kind of colorful and fun. And once it's closed in at the top, these will bunch together. Where is the other version? The other version is actually finished. So here is the nice, easy repeating, and the yarn does a great job on its own. So let me just see if there's a other version. I have two versions of this one. Okay, I'm not sure where it is. So we had that done. So there's a black and white version of this one here, like cookies and cream. So really cute. I just got to film it. So everything's filmed at the closing. So I just got to get my ass together and do it. I did another one here. This is not out yet either. This is using Red Heart Biddy stripes. And so this is that stitch that I developed that I talked about. And you can really see how it works. So this one here is one ball of Biddy stripes, and all I want to do is cross it over once, and I want to add a button to this thing. The other thing I could do with this thing is if I twist it one half and sew it. So twist it one half and sew, I end up with an infinity cowl, which is very possible. So if it's an infinity cowl, it'll look something like that. But I think a button would be better. So I have not provided the pattern for this one yet either. But I think a nice big wood button or something, maybe two. Something like that. Just kind of put some buttons along the edge here. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, those are kind of what's down the pipeline here. What else do we got going on? Somebody's commenting to the seagulls that are behind me. Seagulls I got at a craft show. So we have a lot of local craft shows. I don't know where the pattern is for it, but a lot of people that Yarn Inspirations is now calling it blanket gurumi. And so it's done with a blanket. It's a local crafter. And anyway, she was selling these for $20 Canadian, which is probably what, $16, $15 American dollars. So anyway, I got 3 of them. And anyway, they're kind of fun. And I had something else that she had, but I don't know where it is. So I buy these things because somebody may need a lift one day and I can just give it away. And I also bought this guy here. So, you know, I end up having friends that may be having a baby or something. I don't know where they get the patterns for it, but how much. So this one was $40 Canadian. So about $30 American dollars, something like that. $32 or something. And anyway, so it's kind of cute. So if somebody's having a baby in my life, I can just hand this over as a gift. I never say that I crochet it though. So yeah, so it's kind of fun, right? So yeah. So I love the hat. When your tutorial about the infinity cowl and that hat coming out, I have no idea. I have not filmed the infinity cowl, but the hat should be soon. There's a lot of stuff going on my plate right now. I think I'm having ADHD with these patterns. So I just been crocheting a lot. Kind of been staying offline a bit too. Just kind of working my own magic and just kind of doing what I need to do. Yeah. So great job on the Nutcracker. Yeah. So the Nutcracker, if you've not seen it, was done in 2000. And it's actually 9 years old. So it was released for public viewing in 2015 because that's when we finished it. So it's 9 years old, and it's currently sitting in a local store here in the valley, and the other one's currently in the studio. I never found a spot for the second one to go sit at, so it's here. But it's too tall for. So it stands about 10 feet tall, so it's too tall for interior of a regular house. What's more interesting, so here's the kicker. I got contacted by somebody. Anyway, they wanted, they also want a crochet Nutcracker, but they want me to do it. And basically money is no object kind of deal. They just want one. And they want it sized down to be 5 feet tall instead of 10. So they want half the size. And they said, whatever it's going to take for me to make one and to hand crochet it, money is no option, but they would like it done for next season. So next year. And I have said no to that for sure. Because the originals took us about 4 months to make. And so I just don't have that kind of time. But it's kind of funny. You go in a damn craft show and people don't want to give you $5 for a dishcloth. But then you get the other side of the creativity where people don't mind spending money. And there's been requests to actually move those to a museum as well. But I don't think that'll ever happen. Maybe when I'm dead. But yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of what we have. So Tiffany's saying those seagulls remind her of the pattern. Mine, mine, mine. I actually have nicknamed them the pattern gulls. You know how it is. You show something on. Where's the damn pattern? Like, Yep. So anyway, we have that. We're going forward for the verse time is that the next stitch along for Jeannie in the pattern will be free, but the crochet diagram that I provided will not be free. And there's a reason for it. The pattern diagram took me 60 hours to make, and I have medically hurt myself doing it. It's the holding onto the mouse, and it's holding on to the short keys of doing the Adobe Illustrator, you know, Shift, Control, V, C, B, X, Z, R, and whatever. But anyway, the stretching of my hands has hurt my hands. So this morning I was already at acupuncture. So I'm using the cost for the that's being generated. So the pattern, the crochet diagrams would be for sale, and they won't be available for free. However, the YouTube membership level, you'll still have a free version of it. So I have kept your version still free, but everybody else, there's a charge for it. And it's just to offset my medical expenses. People think that there's a lot of money to be made in making patterns, which is false. A lot of crochet designers are struggling. So for the fee that I've asked for, even if just a few people buy it, it'll help me with my medical expenses to do that. So in Canada, our medical is pretty much worked into our citizenship. However, stuff like therapy, acupuncture, chiropractic, massage therapy and stuff is an extra fee within our medical system up here. So, and I don't think that's an unfair thing. So I think I priced it at $6.99 Canadian dollars. So I think it's around $5 American, which I don't think is too expensive. But I'm looking at, if you just sell a few of those, it'll help me out. So it's $110 every time I go to the doctor. So yeah. So anyway, I figured that's a fair thing. Actually, it was Karen's idea to do that to help me offset my medical. And I thought, oh, I've never really done that before. So anyway, we did a test trial of one to make sure that it's going to transact. So I figured out how to do online downloadables. And so that'll be something that will be happening in the next Stitch Along coming up. So the written words will still be free. The tutorial still will be free. It's just the diagram work, it will not be free. So yeah, so that's kind of thing. One of the kicks that I get off of is that when I submit patterns to Yarnspirations, I like to give them the diagrams because I know how hard the team works and it makes me feel good about it. So when you're looking at the diagrams that are for my stuff, many of them are my own diagrams that I've drawn, and it gives me a mental lift that I'm capable of more than just sitting here being pretty. So I enjoy that part of the process. Yeah. So, okay. So what, is anybody got anything on the list for crochet items for this season? So Nicole, you're welcome to join us today. So any list that you have for crochet items for Christmas, I'll let you take the conversation away. Do you got anything on there? Do you want gift certificates? And I do have an update from Jimmy Bean's Wool for those that ordered our customized backpack and mobility bag as well. So we'll talk about that as well, if you would like to talk about that. So when you're ready to talk about the background, what's happening with the bags, where are they, what's going on, you just let me know in the comments and I'll speak to that topic as well. Yeah. So the bean cap stitch blanket now, Christy is working on, that was in our book. So we've got cardigans, so many things. So does nobody want anything for Christmas that's crochet related? Anybody looking at that? So where am I located? We are Canadian, call it. And so I'm here in Nova Scotia, Canada. So somebody says wants more yarn. I need yarn organization for Christmas, says Melissa. Okay, so a professional to help me organize my yarn. You don't want me to go in there because I will literally go in there and throw out old yarn because that's just the way I am. And I will donate it so fast to charity. Nova Scotia is east, right? Yes, east. If you think New York City, just think further east than that, but north. If that's perspective, and it's more east than Maine, and etc. So you can find us on the map. Okay, so the Jimmy Bean's bags, the crochet bags, the main shipment is coming in. It's currently, the shipment for whatever reason was divided in two by the carrier. So anyway, the first half of the shipment is currently in Tennessee, making its way to Reno, and the other one was up in Chicago. So that's on its way down as well. So the first half of the shipment is already closer than the second half. We have that going out. For Canadian customers, there are 60 of you that ordered the bags. They have given you a choice. You would have seen an email that came over the weekend. They're giving you an option if you're going to wait for the Canada Post strike to finish, then you can wait for that. Or they're telling you that you can email them in and they'll get you a custom quote from FedEx to courier your package to you. So the original shipping quote that they provided to you is not, will not be, if you decide to courier, you're not going to pay the same shipping rate because you're not going through the same carrier. So you have an option whether you want to change it to a courier at your own fee, or keep it as going and let the Canada Post resolve its strike. I know a lot of people are suffering because of our Canadian postal strike. I'm not even sure what to say to it. I know people like my mom where they get medications and medical supplies delivered through Canada Post. I'm not sure what's happening with those people, but it's not great. So I think there needs to be some resolution at some point, but I don't know when it's going to happen. So anyway, for those that ordered the bags and are in Canada, just watch for the email. They'll give you a choice on what you would like to do if you want to. But if it were me and I was to give you an advice, the bags are fabulous, but I would leave them and let the Canada Post strike finish and just wait for it. But if you're in much of a hurry, then obviously get the courier and pay for the courier charges instead of the postal. So Colette has found this by accident. Anyway, so that's kind of what we have. So people are looking for storage trees. We decided to cancel Christmas here at the home. So we did not decorate for Christmas this year. We don't decorate every year. We haven't actually decorated, I think, in 2 or 3 years. We have the stuff, we just didn't bother to do it. It was one circumstance led to another, and we just got to the point where it was causing stress. So we decided to wait and not do it this year. Salty, our one dog, has never seen Christmas yet, but it would have been kind of cute, but it can wait. So yeah, so we're kind of going ahead. Daniel and I are a couple without kids, and so if I want something, I can just buy it. And he's the same way, so we don't do anything for Christmas either. So for us, it's just another day on the calendar as well. So CJ Taylor just sent me an email. What does she want? Carol, when you mentioned buying this kit, I'd already bought it. I'd done a cable car kit for Christmas Village, so I thought I could do it with much effort without cussing and possible tears. I received it, and now I'm quite intimidated. The assembly instructions are 50 pages. I'm now looking forward to seeing your progress online. Much love, Carol. Carol doesn't use that kind of language. I know she's a bad girl. Bad. Yeah. So we got that going on. I bought a miniature kit. We have a miniature club once a month here, and I left the last one practically in tears a week or so ago. And I'm losing the ability of the fine motion of my hands. And unfortunately, I've started a hobby that requires the fine detail of being able to move my hand. But when it's so small, my hand shakes, and I have a hard time grabbing and folding paper. So anyway, I was pretty much in tears because I used to be good at that kind of stuff of folding a paper, but I can't get my hands to bend properly. And I damaged my hands, as I mentioned, doing that crochet diagram. So I'm in therapy to try to get some of the feeling back in my hands to be able to do it. So crochet and knitting, I'm pretty much fine with. It's the fine detail, even using my hands and bending them to push the buttons on my phone. It's a struggle. So So I've seen over the years people asking for advice on how they fix their hands, and I've always kind of just stayed clear of it because I don't know, and I still don't know today because I'm still going through therapy. I'm in the middle of my therapy for acupuncture. So they stick in the prods, and then they attach a couple of them to some electricity to pulse it through my muscles. Yeah. So Carol's saying the kit might cause a little bit more of cussing. I'll be fine-tuning my vocabulary. Oh, please, Carol. Please don't. That's why we love you. You say it the way that it is. CJ Taylor, which is Carol, she has got the best she's got the best resting bitch face that I've ever seen. Oh my God. She looks like she's going to kill her own project. Yeah. So Melissa started kickboxing. So she's got issues going on with her. It's kind of interesting. Has anybody seen that new movie or a new series? It's called The Man on the Inside with Ted Danson. You know, there was a saying, there was a whole monologue of one of the characters, and they talked about it, and they said, you know, when you're younger, you know, you hurt yourself, but then your body bounces back, and then you hurt yourself again, and your body bounces back, and then you hurt yourself again, and your body doesn't bounce back all the way. So you got a little bit of discomfort, and then, you know, in time, that little discomfort just becomes a nagging little thing. And so things then become a little harder and more. And I was thinking about that because I'm 51 years of age now. And it's like, I always thought when I was younger, I'm invincible. But it's the little stupid little things. Like, I'm scared of falling on the ice because I fell during a live show once. And I was a wreck, and I still went through the whole show. And I literally jumped into the car afterward and barely pushed the pedals to get myself to a hospital. So I had slipped on the ice, and I'm not one for crying when I get injured, and I was wrecked. And it turns out I dislocated my knee when I went down. But because I was sitting teaching for the entire time, I said, okay, I'll just endure the pain, just pop some Tylenol and get through it because people had paid to go. And so anyway, so this the stupid little things as you get older is that you realize you become a little more concerned about your own health and what your body can and cannot do. So, right. So Inside Man is so cute. Now I want to be an Inside Woman. Matlock is also a program of the older person. Both are great. CJ or Carol, did you ever meet Denise Lanhan from, I think she's either from South Carolina or North Carolina, and with her husband, her husband was cute as hell. But anyway, they both live in a retirement village, and because her man is like a hot commodity there because a lot of the men have died off, and the people threatening to cut her oxygen off so that she's gone. And yeah. So Jilly says for $100 at 70, I hear you. And thank you so much, Jilly, for the tip this morning. Appreciate that. It goes right to the production. Anyway, so the funny thing is that they're trying to kill this woman off, and so they can get to her man. So, and the goal is that once the oxygen comes off, they need to make sure she's really dead before they actually decide to call for help. And oh yeah, so you know, I met some pretty amazing people along the way. And Carol, I met in San Francisco, I think. She comes up to me, she goes, Michael, I'm Carol Taylor. And I'm like, okay. And it's been fun since then. Yeah. So yeah, so it's kind of funny how we meet certain people. So certain people, they just stick in your brain of when you meet them, and other people, because they don't do anything crazy, they're harder to remember. Christy Johnson, that was here earlier, she was at our Reno retreat, and she bounced her paint off of the table twice onto the floor, and the organizers are trying to scrape paint out of the banquet hall floor so they don't get charged for it. And she did it twice. So she's been banned from doing painting courses with our group for sure. But she was so much fun, and she wasn't even drinking. That's the funny thing, even though there was unlimited drinking during that event. Oh my God. But we all got cut off at intermission for whatever reason. So apply AC vinegar, apple cider vinegar to the wrist, just slap it on. Do not rub it in. Try this for a week and see if you get any relief. That's interesting. I do the apple cider vinegar for another procedure that I get. So I can see that being healing as well. You never know. So right where I live, we're surrounded by apple orchards. So getting apple cider vinegar is not hard around here. We had a woman that was, she was actually kind of pissed off with me because she has these products that she sells. You know how you get involved in those people that here's a product to buy, but then if you sign up, you can become a distributor, and then you sell the product. So really, they're not really selling the product. They're selling the idea of a dream of being a distributor. I think Amway in the 80s was like that. Anyway, so she was doing some kind of thing with that. And she was, you need to tell all the crocheters to come and use my stuff and whatever. And I realized she's only using something that, is it multi-level marketing? Is that what that is? She was using something, and I'm like, I am not telling people to sign up for using medical relief on stuff when I don't even know it works. And B, is the request for the crocheter's health really the thing, or are we just a sitting target because of our wrists and stuff? So anyway, so it's one of those things where I said, I'm not touching that because I'm not a doctor. I don't know these things. So I think people sign up for stuff like that, and then they think, oh, my friends are going to buy into whatever I'm doing and hopefully sell the distributor so it moves them higher up on the food chain for that. Yeah. So Christy is still with us as I threw her under the bus. And, yeah. So that's Christy likes being thrown under the bus, though. She can handle it. So yeah, so there is going to be another Jimmy Beans retreat coming up next year. It'll be in October. And the rule this time around is that because Jimmy Beans calls the hotel and gets everybody booked in and does all the thing, they're giving they're giving early access to their subscriber list on jimmybeanswool.com. So if you are interested in that, just to make sure you sign up for a newsletter from jimmybeanswool.com. And they're going to let their subscribers know first, and then any remaining tickets then will go out to the public after that. So even I have to keep my mouth shut, which is a hard thing to do, because as Carol threw me under the bus during my live presentation in Reno last month. She goes, Michael's never heard a secret he hasn't wanted to share. I was like, oh, I feel so seen. Or he's never met a secret he hasn't kept to himself. It is something so bad, so bad. She's not wrong, but so bad. I felt really seen. But I've been much better. I have been. One of my close friends was really quite sick, and so another friend is like, why didn't you tell me? And I said, it wasn't my news to share. And they know that I usually squeal like a pig, and they're like, you kept a secret. I'm like, I know, don't get used to it. Yeah. And there's a reason I do not know the mystery destination. Yeah, that's true. But also, I really want to be just as surprised with the rest of you. I do want to like literally show up on the bus and actually be genuinely surprised. But I think if I knew the last one, Carol, was a dude ranch, I would have had my mind made up about it already. Because I didn't, I went in completely blind, and I had such a good time. Um, Especially with you too, Carol. Like, you were just hilarious at the axe throwing. Um, but I don't think I would, if I would have known the destination, I think I would have had my mind made up and not had such a good time. Or my expectation would have changed. Yeah. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it because it's legit. So Daniel wrote the clues for the mystery that's coming up. So I have not read any of the clues that are coming out. Megan here talks about it once in a blue moon, about the clues, but I don't follow the clues, so I don't know. Because I genuinely want to be surprised. I don't even, last time I knew what state we were going to be in, this one I have no idea. So, and I'm going to try to keep it that way as well. So Amy would like to do Reno again with us. So the Vixen 59, I'm one of her favorite humans. You haven't met me in person yet. Let's meet in person, and then you can decide that. Because, yeah. So my one dog has been kind of sick. Salty has an ear infection. He's been quite irritable. So I got in between him and his dog dish the other day, and I was on the phone, and I never saw the dog coming at me, and the dog came at me and was like, not great. But anyway, I just wasn't paying attention because I was on the phone with Jimmy Beans while talking about where the hell are the bags. And the nice thing is that, like your inspirations, when I called Jimmy Beans, well, it's very casual, it's very fun. It's business, but it's fun. So today is Talk to Yarn Inspirations Day. So every other Monday in the afternoons, I talk to Yarn Inspirations on the phone, well, a video conference, and see what's going on, see what new yarns are coming out, goals, and more. If anything is going on, if anything that I'm seeing that's kind of going sideways online, I kind of share what I can see from my perspective. And yeah, so there we go. Yeah, so we have that going on. So yeah, so yeah, up. So what else is going on? So Christmas is coming for some people. What am I knitting? I'm knitting the movie Hot Frosty. Anyway, I'm knitting a scarf, but I'm doing it in a dark color. So I want to finish this so I can stage it up in a coat and get a photograph of it. If you were here earlier in the broadcast, you know that later today I'll have the Hot Frosty, but I'll have it in crochet version as well. So I released the version that's in my hands has already been released as of Saturday. It's already on my website. There's already a video for it. So this here is the crochet version of it. So I did it in knit format to see what it would look like, and then I did it in crochet format to match it pretty close. It's not 100% matchy, but it's close enough to say that it is. So that's kind of what's going on. Somebody says, never mind. I think I missed it. I missed something. Oh. Yep. I think I picked up my stitches backwards. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So that's kind of what I have going on around here these days. So what else is going on? Anybody else got hot gossip? Carol, you got anything good? Anybody else? Bueller, Jilly, do you got anything? I will say though, this yarn goes so much further when it's knit. It's not as dense either. It's not like me, dense. We just binge watched a series, if anybody cares. I think it was on, it's called, I don't remember the name of it. It's a Canadian one, so it probably won't matter for anybody. It was really good though. Good day from Australia's in the house today. Love the scarf. I might add a red to start the edges. That might be fun. I just didn't see myself wearing a red scarf. I saw myself more wearing the grays. So, you know, sometimes I got to crochet the stuff and I'm going to use it later. But a lot of my crochet ends up in the donation box anyway. Sorry. We have video surveillance of the home. It says that a car has arrived on site. The Madness, no, I think it was called, I want to say Salty, but I don't think it's that. It's about the maple syrup heist. I just don't remember the name of it. So anyway, yours truly, when I was in Reno, I took myself off my depression medications. I stopped taking it while I was there. And then I ended up having some medical issues when I got home because I had taken myself off without medical, the Sticky, that's what it was. That's the show, the Sticky. It is so good. Anyway, so I took myself off my depression medication without my doctor's approval. And anyway, so I was having medical complications, so I saw her. And anyway, so I'm no longer on the depression medication. I figured, you know what, the best way to get out of the depression is to turn off the bloody news. And so far, so good. Do you hide when cars pull up in your driveway? No, we don't. I don't do that. I want to make it very known that somebody lives here. Somebody says what they, Carol was talking about, I find myself knitting. I use circular knitting needles. You know who taught me to do that was Bruce. Taught me to use the circular. He said that it's a lot easier on the hands. So when I was learning to knit, I took his advice, and it's been great advice. And I don't have to have a big stick in my hand because, never mind. They're not big enough. Yeah. It's nice to see your viewer purchase their own membership while the Yarn Addict is purchasing his followers membership. Is that even, somebody talked about that in the last live broadcast. I never looked into that at all. The Yarn Addict, who is that? I'll look it up later. I've heard the name, I can't place it. I think there's an option for people to give away free memberships, but then it costs somebody else to do it. Is that how it works? I don't know. Have you and Karen watched Married Gentlemen? I think it was on Netflix. No, I don't think so. Nothing rings a bell in that area. We were watching Finding Mr. Christmas. Oh my God. Both her and I are hooting and hollering at the TV, watching these guys trying to be a leading man of a Hallmark Christmas movie. Excuse me while I choke on myself. Yes, it's gifting membership a month for a month. So, Bethany, what do you know about that then? Like, how does that happen? You know what? I'll look it up later. Watch Married Gentlemen yesterday. It's kind of cute, says somebody. Says, yeah. So Denise says, want to know how much you make me smile and how much you're appreciated. Thank you for that. Honestly, I don't feel that way about myself, but yeah. So Juan is gifting purchasing his viewers and followers. Really? Is that even a thing? Did I miss the memo on that? Can YouTube creators give away memberships? Creators and viewers can gift memberships to others while announced in the live chat. When somebody is selected for a gifted membership, they'll receive notification in the live chat and an email. Gift memberships are non-refundable and can only provide 1 month of access to their YouTube has memberships to opt in. They receive a membership during the live stream. You can see your membership's benefits. So I have to buy the membership for somebody to be gifted a membership. Oh, wait a minute. That was 12 months ago. Oh, I have to prove that I'm a human. Hang on. Starting today, channel memberships enabled on your channel. You will now get memberships to start every month so you can gift your viewers totally free of charge. This makes it easy to drive traffic awareness. You'll need the channel membership thing, and your channel membership must be below $5. Well, ours is $6.99 and $8.99 Canadian, so I don't think I apply for that. To gift a free membership charge during a live stream, click the $ icon within the live chat. I don't see that. I don't mind doing it if it doesn't have to come out of my purse. Click the $ icon within the live chat. Does anybody see a $? I don't see a $. The viewers also need to set up their own to receive gifts. Next to where you type, there's no $ there. To where I type, right to the right of where you're typing, I see an emoji. I see nothing but emojis beside where I type. Oh, there it is. Show your support for the crochet crowd. Make your messages stand out. It doesn't say to buy a membership. I have super stickers that I can buy for $2. Oh my God. $3, $5, $10, $50, and $50. But I don't see where it does the memberships. Super chat. Let's check a look at the member. Mine, maybe because I'm a member, it doesn't show me as a member. Maybe because I am a member, because I am a member of my own stuff. It doesn't show that I can buy a membership. How membership gifting works. Okay, that's not available. What they're showing on screen is not what I see. You know what it is? I think when I go live, I have to authorize it before I go live that membership gifting is allowed. So that means that it's already set. At random, it's a one-time charge for a month. Anyway, we'll move on from that topic. So what that comment was, I don't think Juan's buying his own memberships. I think it's YouTube gifting it for the month, from what I'm seeing. So there's a difference of saying he's buying memberships. He's probably not. He's probably so probably won't because you probably won't apply because you need a membership under $5. So mine is $6.99 Canadian and $8.99 Canadian, which is $4.89 American, and $6.89, I think $6.90 American. So one of the memberships, really, the membership that gives them the backstage pass though is the more expensive one of the $6.99 American one. So I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, so we'll keep on moving on. So Michael is joining us. MDL Crochet is Michael. He's joining us today. And yeah, so we'll keep moving on in our topic today. Where can I find the pattern for the hot frosty nut scarf? It's available. We released a video of it, Pat, a couple of days back. It's in the video description for a link to it. And there's a download if you would like that as well. And you can find that all in the video description. Yeah. So. I've lost my way in my own pattern here. Okay. Yeah, so you can find there. Pat, any of our videos, if there's a free pattern, it's always linked in the video description. It saves you having to contact me. I get a lot of people writing comments to me like, where's the pattern? And it's in the video description. And you know what's really stupid? Like really stupid. In the mobile app of YouTube is that we have what is called as pinned comments. So the comment stays to the top. It stays to the top when you're on the desktop, but in On the mobile, it's a pinned comment, but it doesn't state at the top. So people ask, where's the pattern? And yet in the desktop version, it's always at the top comment. But in the mobile app, it's always buried. So a lot of people are on the app. Yeah. So Gordon is joining us today. Karen said that you are maybe coming to join us in Nova Scotia, Gordon. What do we got? So finally made it live, says Maria. And welcome aboard this nut house today. It's already 12:18 my time zone today. Yeah. I'm trying to finish up this yarn ball so I can do up the final photos of this scarf. So the number one selling yarn for Yarn Inspirations online this year has been actually Red Heart Biddy Stripes. So they did a testing trial of it back in the winter of last year. So if anybody kind of knew the backstory, so Crystal from Bag O' Day got her hands a hold of this yarn, and so she reviews it, and she said there's no evidence of this yarn online. And so I screenshotted her video, and I went over to Yarn Inspirations. I'm like, where in the hell is this product? And so she got her hands on a testing trial that was done on Walmart Canada to see if anybody was interested in the brand. And so anyway, it flew off the shelves in Walmart Canada. And so the testing trial was successful. And so then product was then officially made as a yarn brand for this past June. And it ends up becoming the number one selling online yarn for Yarn Inspirations for this season. So it's the Red Heart Biddy Stripes. I have a ball around here somewhere. No, I did have a ball around here somewhere. But anyway, the Biddy Stripes does that. So it's like a box of crayons and watercolors. So it's beautiful. Mikey, have you lost weight? You look amazing. No, I have not lost weight. It's because I'm not turning sideways. I have gained weight and I feel like shit, to be honest with you. I've been eating my feelings this whole season. So by spring, I'm just going to be this big balloon character. Anyway, and I know that I'm doing it to myself. That's the stupid thing about it. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, there was a big sale on this Biddy Stripes kit that ended. Let's see what's on sale this week. Yarn Inspirations. 30% off last minute gifts. Shop the sale. Let's see what's on sale. 30% off last minute gifts. They've got yarn on sale, thread. Holy shit, look at, has anybody seen the Red Heart Super Savers Super Mega Craft Kit? I didn't even know about this product. It's huge. 36 balls of 50-gram yarn. Oh, it's out of stock here in Canada already. Let's see how much stock is in the US. The US has well over 200 boxes, and it's currently, so US dollars, just let's add, I want to see if the coupon is already on. It says $49.99. View the cart. Oh my God. It's normally $49.99. It's only $35. You save $15. Holy cow. I'll post a link on this chat if you're interested in looking at it. Like for $35, so the discount is after you add it to the cart. That's a hell of a deal. That's a sin. That's a sin. Let's see what else is on sale. Oh, they got a keepsake embroidery box, 30% off. Oh, and the Coates and Clark 24-pack with storage box, thread, quilting and piecing thread. Normally $99 Canadian. Let's see what it's in the US. I'm switching between the US and the Canadian site. So it's $80 American dollars. And let me add 2 to the cart and see what happens with that price. So normally $80. Let's see what it looks like in the cart. So $80 goes down to $56 for 24 like large spools of quilting and piecing thread. I guess if you're a quilter, is that a great deal? Yep. And let's see what the other thing was. There was another thing. Yarn in Review. Let's take a look at Yarn in Review. The Biddy Stripes. Let's see what the Yarn in Review. Let's see what the top blankets were of the season. Oh. 8, 9. I'm in 10th place. The study of Christmas cookies is in 10th place for the year. It's pretty fun. Oh, that looks like that's it. Best of fashion, most loved charity. Let's take a look at the charity patterns. I don't think I've designed anything for charity, not for Yarn Inspirations. Okay. Best makers in training. Best for makers in training. Let's see. Nope, I don't have any patterns there. It's a sin. And I don't do any fashion. Yeah. Anyway, does that include the charms? I don't know. I don't know what that means. So when Crystal and I mentioned that the yarns and knit related items, it will sell out immediately. I don't know if that's true. But I kind of don't look at it that way. The way that I see it is that as much as I look like I have a big life, I'm very much of a budget shopper. So I like a good yarn sale. So I was at Michael's yesterday getting this yarn for 25% off. So I am very budget minded. I run our budget every month. So for me, when there's a nice hot sale, I think it's important to communicate that out because there's people like me that are budget minded, that are looking to save dollars. So I don't get commissions from Yarn Inspirations at all when I mention the sale. So that's the nice thing about it, is that I don't directly benefit from that by getting you to make a purchase. So I just think it just makes sense to mention if there's a sale, because why would you want to pay full price if they're willing to do it cheaper, right? Made a mistake. I'm doing what you call as tinking. I went the wrong direction. It's what happens when I see a bloody yarn sale. I lose my spot. The stitch that I'm currently doing right now is called the seated knit stitch. So I had this really crazy idea during COVID to teach myself how to knit. And so I didn't take time off, but I kind of did. So I always wanted to knit my own hat instead of buying one at a craft show. So now when I see it at a craft show, I have more perspective on, the value of the hat, which is favorable, of course. So I'm taking my way back out of my problem. Got it. Yeah. So anyway, so somebody barely passes up the yarn sales. Okay, who doesn't love a good yarn sale, right? So in the past, when I was learning to knit many, many years ago, I'd make a mistake in the project and then I would just frog the whole damn thing and then I say, screw it, I'm not meant to knit. But then I realized that if I'm really that dedicated to it, I can learn how to fix my work. Ultimately, the goal would be not to make that mistake, but yeah. So I just learned what tinking, tinking, Tinking. I think it's tinking. Is that right, Megan? Is that the tinking? So I just say $23 plus of your inspiration since you are such a bad influence. What did you get? $23. I just saved $23. What did you buy? So we have an exciting trip planned for Nova Scotia for next summer. So I wanted a trip that made sense for us. So there's a lot of things in Nova Scotia that is just not wheelchair or scooter friendly because it's Nova Scotia. We have only 1 million people that actually live in the province. And so there is some really rich history here, but the beaches are rocky. Some of the hotels are so vintage that they are predating accessibility. The one location we're going to, the main complex, is from the 1700s, and everybody's getting their own cottage while they're there. But there's stairs for the cottages, stairs for the main complex, because the hotel is so old. So we really wanted that whole idea to give the Nova Scotia feel towards our trip. But then there's some people that are not really happy about that. But then I'm like, if you really want to come to Nova Scotia, you can grab a regular bus tour and just travel around, and they'll keep you in the spots that are more accessibility friendly. But I think that's part of the charm of Nova Scotia, is that it is so rustic in so many ways. My first knit project is a hat. In the round, I got inside out at one point. Oh, something is wrong. Hang on one moment. Oh, it's Karen related. She's fine. Okay. I'm gonna tell Daniel. I'm gonna need another cup of tea. And I'm almost finished my ball. Okay, so better. So make sure you have your passport, Melissa. I don't. You know what? We never even mentioned that in our marketing. Do you think anybody in the U.S. doesn't realize that they need a passport to leave the U.S.? I don't think we even mentioned it. Now that I think about it, like I think that's common knowledge, right? Like, would you have to be living under a rock if you didn't know that? I don't know. I know that I think some Americans, I know based on the crochet cruises over the years, that you guys had some kind of license that your license could actually get you across borders, especially for the cruises. But then I think it changed to a passport, and that created a big hubbub when that happened. But I think honestly, I think that's common, right, in the U.S. now. Like it's been for us for years. Like you've not been able to leave Canada because you'll never get back in without a passport. You can leave, probably for sure. Well, you could have probably at one point, but you wouldn't have got back in without your passport. It cannot expire in more than 6 months. Real ID, I thought was TSA. Yeah, I don't recall. I don't know what the U.S. rules are. Okay, so the oddballs, thank you for teaching crochet and the Tunisian crochet. I'm starting my yarn addiction. You better run now before you start turning into like Carol or myself or Gordon or Michael here or Melissa or Stacy and Chrissy, where we turn into this big yarn horse. I mean hoarders. Horse. And Megan there too. There is a passport card in addition to your passport. The card will be used for walking, driving, and cross borders if you have to fly in to get a passport. Okay, it's good to know. It's not hoarding if it's yarn. Okay, Tiffany, keep telling yourself that. And I guess if you're part of the crochet community, we enable everything under the sun. Just wanted to let you know that I still have my star lapcam that I showed you on my YouTube, my first YouTube video. Excellent. what else do you go? So I think I'm going to run and go get a cup of tea, and then I'm going to keep on going. I have my meeting with your inspirations in an hour or so. So I'll get livened up. We'll see what's going on over at your inspirations. Is this? I still have a meeting, I think, before Christmas hits. Yeah, I have a meeting with them the week of Christmas. Yeah. Okay. So we hope you have a great afternoon and morning, depending where you are. It's currently now 12:38 p.m. here in Nova Scotia time. And please have a great day, no matter where you find yourself today. And if it's not going to be a great day, then just try to get through the best you can. And that's it for today. We hope you have a good one, and we'll see you again real soon. Okay, bye-bye. You know, I got to do one of those nasty phone calls. Crochet Craft Michael speaking. What do you mean your ball's tangled in knots? You can't be part of our group then. Beat it! Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Yeah, gotta come up with something. Just gonna finish my row. Okay, bye everybody. We hope you enjoy, and I'm almost done my row. I'll finish the rest after lunch. That's pretty good. You know, in person, I really can't see that transition, but I can see it on the screen. Oh well. That's it. Bye-bye.